Everybody knows what a bad toothache feels like. It's one of the worst pains there is, and it doesn't stop. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't think about anything else. Today, you take a painkiller and you book a dentist. Now take all of that away. No painkillers, no antibiotics, no dentist, not even a real explanation. That was normal for almost all of human history. So what did people actually do? The short answer is grim. The long answer is genuinely insane. Because they were drilling holes in people's teeth 9,000 years ago, while being completely wrong about what caused the problem. Let's start with the honest answer, because it's short. For most people, in most times, there were three options. Option 1. You suffer. You wait and hope it stops. Sometimes the pain does fade, because the nerve inside dies, which feels like healing, but it isn't. The problem is still there. Option 2. Someone pulls it out. This was the main treatment for thousands of years. The Greeks made special pliers for it, so did basically everyone else. And option 3, which is the one people forget. The infection spreads, and it kills you. That's not an exaggeration. A tooth infection isn't stuck in your tooth. It can move into your jaw and into your bloodstream. Before antibiotics, that was a real and regular way to die. So a hole in a tooth wasn't an annoyance. It was a genuine threat. Which explains why people got creative very early. And this is where it gets impressive and also awful. The oldest dental work we've found is about 14,000 years old. It's a tooth from northern Italy. Under a microscope, you can see scratch marks inside a cavity. Somebody scraped out the rotten part with a sharp piece of flint. By hand, inside someone's mouth, on purpose. But that's nothing compared to what they found in Pakistan. At a site called Mehrgarh, archaeologists found teeth with holes in them. Not cavities, drilled holes. Perfectly round, 1 to 3 millimeters. They were made with a bow drill. That's the same tool people used to start fires and drill beads. Someone put a flint tip on it and pointed it at a living person's molar. And we know the patients survived because the teeth kept wearing down after. They lived, ate, and got on with their lives. This wasn't a one-off either. It went on for about 1,500 years. There was a dentist in that village for 15 centuries. And they had fillings too. In Slovenia, a 6,500-year-old tooth was filled with beeswax. Which is smart, actually. Beeswax seals the crack and calms it down. All of this happened before writing existed, before the wheel. Which brings up the question everyone's thinking. What about the pain? Was there anything at all? A little, but not what you're hoping for. They had plants that dull pain. Henbane, opium poppy, alcohol. Those genuinely work, up to a point. But there's no numbing the tooth itself, no injection. So somebody is spinning a stone drill into your molar and you are fully awake, feeling all of it. Whoever sat through that wanted the pain gone very badly. Which tells you how bad an untreated toothache really was. But here's the strangest part of this entire story. They could drill a tooth. They could fill a tooth. But they had absolutely no idea what was causing the damage. So they came up with an explanation, and everyone believed it. They decided there was a worm living inside your tooth, eating it from the inside. That's the tooth worm. And honestly, it's not a stupid guess. A cavity looks exactly like a hole a worm bores into wood. You've got a hard thing with a hole in it. Worms make holes. The idea shows up first with the Sumerians, around 5000 BC. And then it just spreads everywhere. Egyptians believed it. Greeks believed it. So did Chinese and Indian writers. Medieval European surgeons still believed it in the 1300s. It hung around, in one form or another, into the 1700s. That's roughly 6,000 years of total confidence. in something that does not exist. Which raises an excellent question. How do you treat a fake worm? The most popular answer was smoke. By about 2250 BC, the Babylonians had a standard procedure. You burn henbane seeds mixed with beeswax, right by the mouth. The smoke goes in, and the worm is supposed to crawl out. Then you plug the hole so it can't get back in. Now, here's the annoying thing. That treatment kind of worked. Not because of worms, because henbane numbs pain. So the patient felt better, and everyone credited the worm theory. A wrong idea, plus a treatment that works for a different reason. That's a great way to keep believing something for 6,000 years. There were other approaches too, and they got weirder. Ancient Chinese healers wrapped prayers written on paper around the tooth. Medieval Europeans recommended rinsing your mouth with dog teeth boiled in wine. I don't know who tested that. I hope nobody. And for centuries in Europe, your dentist was your barber. Same guy. Haircut, shave, and he'd pull your tooth in the street. Okay, now the part that's going to bother some people. Why do we get cavities at all? Because hunter-gatherers barely got them. Their teeth wore down from chewing tough food, sure. But holes in the teeth were much rarer than they are now. Because tooth decay needs one thing above all: sugar and starch. Bacteria in your mouth eat it and produce acid. And the acid dissolves your tooth. That's the whole mechanism. So when did our teeth start falling apart? 2 moments. First, farming. We started eating grain. All day. Every day. Grain is starch. Starch feeds those bacteria. Cavity rates jumped, and archaeologists can see it in the skulls. Then, much later, sugar became cheap, and it got dramatically worse. So here's the uncomfortable version. There was never a worm. There was us. We changed what we eat, and our teeth couldn't keep up. But the part that actually sticks with me isn't the drilling. It's the worm. Think about how confident everyone was. This wasn't a fringe idea. It was in the medical texts, across completely different cultures that never spoke to each other. Doctors taught it. Patients believed it. Treatments were built around it. For 6,000 years, it was simply the obvious answer. And it was completely made up. So the real question isn't how they were so wrong. The question is what we're doing right now that's just as wrong. Because they weren't stupid. They were doing their best with the information they had. Same as us. So tell me in the comments, what's our tooth worm? What are we all completely sure about that people in 500 years will laugh at? If you like the stuff nobody explains properly, you're in the right place. Subscribe. We do this every week.